Well, hey guys, this is Jeff, and I wanted to share with you about a part of my journey with Jesus that is probably not my proudest thing. And as I was preparing for our kids' church experience this week, the passage I was reading in the Bible was making me think of it, and I thought maybe this is something I should share with you. So let me give you a little bit of the background. I began to find and follow Jesus when I was in college in 1995, which is 25 years ago. Man, that seems like a really big number. It makes me feel actually a little bit old. So 25 years ago, I began to find Jesus, began to follow him, but I didn't actually start serving in a church until my oldest daughter, who's 17 now, was 3 years old, which is 14 years ago. So I began following Jesus 25 years ago, didn't serve until 14 years ago. That's an 11-year gap of something. Of what? What happened during that 11 years? Well, part of that was that I wasn't always in church for those 11 years. I kind of thought I could follow Jesus by myself and do this kind of Lone Ranger Christian thing, which of course did not work. It doesn't work for anyone. We're meant to do this thing together. But as I started to actually get back into churches, I had a whole lot of what I back then would have said are really good reasons. And as I look back on it now, I would say are maybe not great excuses as to why I couldn't possibly serve in the churches that I was attending. One of the big ones was that I just didn't know enough. I didn't know enough about the Bible. I didn't know all the characters. I didn't know all the songs. I didn't know the rituals and routines. And so I just couldn't possibly serve. And the one that went along with that is I just need to be fed on Sundays. I need more. I need to be fed on Sundays. And I don't want serving to get in the way of getting fed, right? Some of it was my behavior. I didn't have always very Jesus-y behaviors. I had a lot of words that escaped my mouth, and most of them were 4 letters long, and so I couldn't possibly serve in a church because what if I did something that wasn't a very Christian thing to do, and then churches didn't want that, so they couldn't possibly use me. And then it was how much I worked. I started working 50, 60 hours. I was doing low-income property management, inner city Detroit and Flint and Saginaw, and experiencing some pretty dangerous stuff. And man, I just couldn't add anything to my weekends. My weekends were my time to recharge and relax, and I needed church to help me recharge to face the week. And so serving that was just going to be one more thing on an already overcrowded, stressed out schedule. And then as I was visiting churches, well, if I was pretty new to a church and someone asked me to serve, I mean, I'm not even a part of things in here yet. I don't know if I want to be a part of things, so I can't possibly do anything for anyone. Don't look at me to do that. And then ultimately, I think that the thing that I always thought, maybe I didn't say this, but the thing I always thought is that, well, someone will do this, someone else will take care of these things. We'll shake the hands at the door, we'll teach the kids, we'll hand out programs, whatever it was, someone could do that, and not me. Let me tell you that the Bible passage that I was looking at this week as I was preparing for our kids' church experience that kind of touched off some of these memories for me. It's in Luke, one of the Gospels in the New Testament, in chapter 10. And it starts in that chapter by saying, "The Lord, Jesus, now chose 72 other disciples and sent them ahead in pairs to all the towns and places he planned to visit." So Jesus has been ministering in public now for a year or two, and he's trying to prepare some towns for him to be able to visit them. And so he takes 72 other disciples, so not the main 12 we talk about, and he's going to send them out in pairs. Okay? He gives them some instructions too, and they're a doozy. He says in verse 3, "Now go, and remember that I am sending you out as lambs among wolves." Ooh. "Don't take any money with you, nor a traveler's bag, nor an extra pair of sandals, and don't stop to greet anyone on the road." Well, this sounds like a vacation. No money, no shoes, and you're lambs among wolves. Great. Now, what qualifications do these guys have to go do this? Because there's 72 of them that did go sign up to do this. Well, I doubt they were the best Bible scholars. I doubt that they knew the most. I doubt they were the best speakers. Probably just a collection of carpenters and farmers and shepherds and fishermen. Well, I'm guessing that the big thing that qualified them is that they said yes. They were people who had started to follow Jesus And they said yes when Jesus asked them to do something. That was the big qualification for them. But the payoff, in verse 17, it says, when the 72 disciples returned, they joyfully reported to Jesus. They got back from that, probably not pleasure cruise of a trip, and they were full of joy as they reported back to Jesus about the things that they had seen and the things that they had done. It's amazing. I think back to my first time serving in ministry. So like I said, I know when it was. It was when my daughter was 3, because they were looking for a substitute teacher for the summer in my daughter's 3-year-old class. My wife and another woman had signed up to teach, and they were looking for someone to do crowd control. And it was a group of 30 kids every Sunday. Not the same 30, but every Sunday consistently there were 30 3-year-olds in one room. And I was crowd control. Talk about sending a sheep among wolves, right? And it was pretty good for the summer. And then in the fall, kind of partway through the fall, I begrudgingly said, you know what, I'll serve again. You still don't have a teacher for 4th and 5th grade? Okay, and so I went up to a room of 40 4th and 5th graders. And someone handed me a teaching book and said, yeah, just teach these guys. Again, sheep amongst wolves, right? Scary. But the more I did it, the more I got joy out of it. The more that I was able to joyfully report to Jesus the things that were happening. And it really had nothing to do with the actual task I was doing itself. It had a whole lot more to do with having a part of the mission. I was a part of something bigger than myself. I was on this mission that Jesus was all about. And it had a whole lot to do with the people I was doing it with, too. In fact, just earlier today, I was on a video call with the guy who taught in the room next to me, the 3rd graders. And we actually combined our classes the next year and started a kids' church. That was like 13 years ago, and we're still friends to this day. He's in Michigan, and I'm here in Maryland, but we're still friends. And I've met so many people doing this and become lifelong friends of mine who shared joys with me and walked with me through sorrows and encouraged me and held me accountable. It's amazing what Jesus does when you are on his mission. And so, I'm not real proud of that 11 years that it took me to actually get involved in the game and actually go about the mission that Jesus has laid before us. So I want to encourage you. I think there's always something that Jesus wants us to be doing for his mission, whether it's in our neighborhoods or online or at our workplaces or as a part of a serving team in a church. I want to encourage you to get involved. Be like one of those 72 early disciples who were sent out on a pretty scary mission with their only qualification being, yes, I will go. And remember, at the end of that scary mission, they came back and they joyfully reported to Jesus everything that had happened. I hope you're having a great day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.